Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the Bit Squad, the largest crypto community and all the interwebs. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in crypto. If you like money in crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Guys, I'm out of the office today. I'll be back tomorrow, live streaming tomorrow morning. But I want to make a video because something insane happened over the last couple of days. And then another instance of another insane thing that happened that I got to tell you guys about. In this video today, you can think of it as just a reminder of why you need to take care of your crypto. I'm also going to be going over kind of the 3 levels of custodianship. I talked about this yesterday on my interview with London Real, with Brian Rose from London Real. If you missed that, you can go to the London Real YouTube channel and check it out. There was a problem with the audio on the live stream, but they re-uploaded the video, and obviously a lot of you guys were in that chat. I didn't know there were problems, but they re-uploaded it. No problems on the video, so go check that out. I give kind of a personal story at the end if you guys want to check that out. That maybe could help some people, so you guys go give it a watch. But today I want to talk about what just happened with a company called Fireblocks. So basically, Fireblocks is a custodian service. Now, what that means, they take care of people's crypto. There is a company called Firehounds, Stakehounds or Staking Hounds, one or the other. I think it's an Ethereum mining pool, something like that. But the point is, they gave 38,000 Ethereum, which right now is around $70 million worth. But I mean, if you think about where we were at a couple of weeks ago, that would have been well over $100 million. So they gave that money, that 38K Ethereum, over to Fireblocks to take care of it. A custodian service, right? Coinbase does custody. Gemini does custody. Fidelity does custody. They take care of large amounts of people's crypto, so they should feel like it's safe. Well, what happened is they actually lost the private key to this Ethereum. You can't make this stuff up. Now, what Fireblocks is saying is that Staking Hounds, it was their responsibility to keep a backup of the private key. So they both had access to the private key, which is also a little weird to me. You would think that if you were doing custody that, you wouldn't want that thing floating out there. But regardless, both parties lost it. So Fireblocks lost the private key. Staking Hounds lost their private key. And Staking Hounds is now suing Fireblocks over this right now $72 million worth of Ethereum that was stolen. Not stolen, they just lost access to it. It's not gone, but it is gone. And the question is, what in the world happened and what can you take away from this? Well, guys, if there's 2 points of failure, you got to understand that you got to keep both points of failure up, right? You got to keep both points. If Staking Hounds lost a private key, then they should have been like, you know what, let's go make sure that Fireblocks still has it. If Fireblocks had lost a private key, they should have gone to Staking Hounds. Well, you got this backed up, right? But the idea that a custody company can do this is absolutely insane. This should never happen. There's another story, okay? Check this out. The largest crypto hack in history. Now, this isn't actually a hack. It seems like it's an exit scam. A company, I think it was Crypt Africa, AfriCrypt, maybe AfriCrypt, I think that was it. It was an exchange in Africa ran by 2 South African brothers. They disappeared this week with over $3.6 billion in crypto. They took all the money from the exchange, they disappeared. Now, of course, the obvious thing to think would be that these South African brothers exit scammed and they took all the money, but of course, they could have been forced at gunpoint. Who knows? Maybe they were kidnapped. Not 100% sure there, but what we do know is the money is gone. And this brings us to a place of really what I want to talk about in today's video, because yesterday as I was doing the interview with Brian Rose talking about crypto custody, it really made me realize that I'm just not 100% sure that we talk about this enough on our channel. So what we discussed is there are 3 different levels of custodianship, 3 different levels of ownership and responsibility when it comes to your crypto, okay? The first level, the lowest level, what I would call the level 3 custodianship, is when you don't own your crypto and you'll never own that crypto. Great example of this would be Robinhood or the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. You actually are able to invest in crypto without owning it. A lot of the people during the Wall Street bet stuff, they discovered this in a very sad way as they tried to remove all their Dogecoin, their Bitcoin, their Ethereum Classic for their Robinhood accounts. When you realize you're not allowed to do that. You have zero ownership. That is what I would call level 3 custodianship. Then you have what I would call level 2 custodianship. This is exchange ownership. A good way to think about this is ownership at a certain point. So if you use an exchange, like we'll just use Coinbase, for instance, almost everybody's probably used Coinbase at this point. When you buy Bitcoin on Coinbase or Ethereum or any other coin, you don't own your private key. So technically, you don't own your crypto. A lot of the crypto enthusiasts out there would say, not your keys, not your crypto, not your keys, not your Bitcoin, whatever the case may be. But if you want to own that crypto, you have the option to do that. So even though while it sits on that exchange, you don't actually own it, when you make the decision to withdraw that crypto to another source, you're proving ownership. So it's kind of shared ownership between the exchange and yourself. Level 1 custodianship, the highest level of custodianship, would be when you own your own crypto 100%. You've bought it from somewhere, you've pulled it off, you have it in a hot wallet, which is a wallet connected through the internet, maybe a cold storage wallet like Ledger. If you want to check out a Ledger USB device, I suggest everybody gets one and learns how to use it. That's what we call cold storage. You guys can visit bitboycrypto.com/deals, scroll down to the Ledger section, and you guys can get access. They're only like $60. I think it even comes with like $20 in a crypto voucher. So they're very, very cheap and a very easy way to learn kind of how to manage this custodianship. And you can also use what's called a paper wallet, which is another kind of cold storage. It's basically where you print the QR code and the private key to your wallet on a piece of paper. But even that can actually be a little bit dangerous if your printer saves stuff to the cloud. If things get saved to your iCloud, Google Cloud, that is kind of a way that hackers can get in and get access to things that you've done, printed, pictures you've taken. So you may think like, oh, I'll take a picture of this private key and nobody will ever be able to get to it, and you might delete it, but it might stay on your iCloud. And if that happens, if a hacker gains access to your to your iCloud email account, then he can get access to that photo, even though it was deleted off your phone. Boom, get right in your keys. I know someone that happened to. They lost $60,000 in crypto, but that's $60, or that $60,000, that was like 10 Bitcoin. So now if you think about what we did when we bought 10 Bitcoin at $30,000 the other day, wow, I mean, you're talking about well over $300,000 worth of Bitcoin that was taken from that guy because he took a picture on his iPhone and kept it in the cloud for safekeeping. Don't make digital copies of anything that you have. And here's another important lesson. And to me, this is the way I feel like I've really set myself up to protect myself from all crypto hacks. Don't have all your crypto on one place. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a ledger, paper wallet, hot wallet, an exchange. Don't have all your crypto in one place. I've got crypto in so many different places, it would be literally impossible for someone to track them all down and get all my crypto. So in the worst case scenario, if I were to get hacked or I were to lose money on an exchange or on a wallet, I still got plenty left locked and loaded and ready to roll. Also, guys, I want to give a shout out to Trae Young. Ice Trae last night. Am I right? Hawks, let's go. Can't wait. I'll be at game 3 on Sunday night, probably game 4 on Tuesday night. Let's go Hawks, ATL represent. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll be back for the live stream tomorrow. We will have Around the Blockchain today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I won't be on it. We'll also have a 3 p.m. interview with Teeka Tiwari. You got to hear to believe, or hear to, you have to watch it to see what he says, is what I'm trying to say. He talks about DeFi being one of the largest opportunities in the history of mankind. You're definitely going to want to check that out. All right, guys, make sure to drop some comments down below. Let me know what you think is going on in the Bitcoin market. Let me know what's going on with your custodianship, how you manage your wallet, how you handle your crypto. Drop those comments down below. That's all I got. Be blessed. Way out.